Hi again, everyone. Only 2 people have ever won 5 South Bend people have ever won 5 South Bend Metro Golf Championships in the tournament's 91-year history. Leader after 3 rounds, Brandon Knutson was going for his 5th championship in a row, something that's never been done. Let's go right to the par 5 17th. Knutson down a stroke, and look at this chip. It ends up just inches from the cup. He would tap in for a birdie, and he would tie for the lead. So it's going to come down to the 18th. And Tony Palazzotto misses his birdie putt, but he would tap in for par. So that would put the pressure on Knutson, and here he is to try to force a playoff, and ouch. It lips off, and Tony Palazzotto is your South Bend Metro champ. Knutson has to settle for 2nd place.
There's nobody who I'd rather see win it. Tony and I are good friends, and really happy for him.
He had a bad round today, and I took advantage of it. Other than that, I mean, he would win 9 out of 10 times. Just happened to be, you got to play the game right, so it just happened to be that I was in the right spot today.
Now to the pros, where a very wet PGA Championship resumed. Jimmy Walker on the beach at 10 with the shot of the tournament. And no, I'm not going to say dynamite, because that's what other broadcasters would do. I'm original. Now to 18, where Jason Day knocks in an eagle to cut Walker's lead to 1. He's pumped up. Walker would find himself in the rough on 18, so from this chip, he would need to 2-putt to win, and that's exactly what he does. Jimmy Walker is your 2016 PGA champion. He led the tournament from wire to wire. Well, with Major League Baseball's trading deadline coming up tomorrow, rumors of whether the White Sox could deal Chris Sale or Jose Quintana have been rampant. And they did deal a left-handed pitcher today, but it was Zach Duke, who was sent to the Cardinals for AAA outfielder Charlie Tilson. Sox looking to take 2 out of 3 against Minnesota, and it was a rough start for another Sox lefty, Carlos Rodon. Bottom 1, Sox already down 2. Make that 3. Kenny Vargas gets all of it. It's 3-0 Minnesota. Sox would get back in it, making it 4-3 in the 5th, but that's when Brian Dozier muscles up as in upper deck. That makes it 5-3 Twinkies. Dozier would go deep again, and Minnesota beats the Southsiders 6-4. Tigers looking for their 6th straight, and this one got ugly in a hurry. Bottom first, bases loaded. Tigers already up 2-0, and James McCann gets a hold of one. First career grand slam for the Detroit catcher. It's already 6-0. It would stay that way until the bottom of the 5th. Miguel Cabrera slices one down the right field line. That ball is gone. It's 7-0 Tigers, and Miggy wasn't done. Bottom 7, now 8-0, and Cabrera goes yard again. 2nd homer of the game, 23rd on the season. Tigers roar 11-0. Cubs in action as we speak, hosting the Mariners in the rubber game of that series. And, well, the good news is the Cubs just got out of the bases-loaded, nobody-out jam without allowing any runs. But, well, some of you Cub fans may have even tuned over to watch us, because it's 6-2 Mariners in the 6th. South Bend Cubs in Game 2 of a wraparound series with Great Lakes. Cubs get on the board early. Top 1, Alberto Mineo lines a single to left. P.J. Higgins would score. It's 1-0 South Bend. And what an effort from Adbert Alzolay. Check out this wipeout curveball. Strikes out both Brandon Davis here and then Logan Langdon. But Higgins needs to complete the putout of both. They dive into the dirt so directly like that. Cubs lost last night 2-1. They win today by that very same score. Rain, rain, go away. NASCAR's Pennsylvania 400 was washed out today from Pocono. They will try to make it up tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock. And to finish our racing report, fans enjoying IndyCar racing in Lexington, Ohio, it would be Simon Pagenaud's day. He cruises to victory. It's his 4th checkered flag this season, also his first win at the Mid-Ohio. Pagenaud maintains his #1 position in the standings, but Willpower remains in the hunt, 58 points back with 4 races left in the season.
Ooh, busy day for the summertime.
Yeah, pretty busy when the rain held off, that is.
Yeah. All right, well, thanks, Eric.
Hi, everyone. I'm Eric Crouch. Dean and Adam are off. Well, we are now less than 1 week away from the Blue Gold game, and big news, Brian Kelly is named a starter at quarterback. Sort of. The 2 men in red here, Malik Zaire and Deshaun Kaiser, will each start for their own team in the spring game Saturday. The 2 practiced indoors Saturday morning because of that late spring snow. Kelly says the game will be a good test.
I think it'll help immensely, absolutely. And we'll make them live for a little bit. I don't think it'll be the whole game, but, you know, they'll have blue jerseys. They've got to be able to run a little bit. So we'll let them compete a little bit, probably.
This was this morning, it seems
maybe
like.
just the first half. I haven't made a definitive decision on that yet, but they clearly need to be involved in the game. They run, that's what they do. That's the identity of our offense, is the quarterback's going to be a running threat as well. So got to let them run a little bit too.
Well, 162-0 will not happen for the Cubs, who are coming off of their first loss of the year to the Diamondbacks Friday night. Could they rebound? Well, they would sure start early. Top of the first, Anthony Rizzo singles up the middle. That's going to score Jason Hayward. Cubs lead 1-0. Very next hitter, Chris Bryant. He's going to double off of the glove of the Diamondback shortstop Nick Ahmed. Ben Zobrist scores. Cubs would score 3 in the inning, and that would be enough. Cubs win 4-2. Southsiders hosting Cleveland, tied at 3 in the 7th when Melky Cabrera laces an RBI single. Jimmy Rollins scores, and the White Sox are on top. 2 batters later, Avisail Garcia goes Oppo. 3-run homer gives the Sox a 7-3 lead. Chilly day in Chicago, but both teams combined for 4 homers. Sox win and are now 4-2 on the season. South Bend Cubs at West Michigan, and this one would go down to the wire. 2-1 Cubs in the top of the 6th. Tyler Alamo singles to second base, scores a run to make it 3-1. Later in the inning, P.J. Higgins singles to left. Alamo's going to score. Bryant Flotte is thrown out at the plate, but the Cubs lead is 4-1. Now it's 5-3 Cubs, bottom of the 9th, tying runs on first and third. Rashad Brown with a drive to left field. And look at Donnie DeWee's layout with the diving catch to win it. Cubs win 5-3. Well, it's down to the Pacers and the Bulls for the final playoff spot in the East. And the Bulls need a miracle. They need to win out. They hosted Cleveland on Saturday night. We go right to the 4th quarter. Jimmy Butler drives for the layup and the foul. He would hit the free throw. Bulls go up by 9. Now the Cavs cut it to 3 with time running out. J.R. Smith for 3, blocked. Justin Holiday gets a hand on it, or check the replay, got the hand on Smith a little bit there. Either way, no call. Bulls win. Postseason hopes still alive. Well, Jordan Spieth has a chance to go wire to wire at the Masters for a 2nd consecutive year. That's never happened. Would the 22-year-old keep making history at Augusta Saturday? Well, tough windy conditions during the 3rd round of the Masters, but they would not faze Spieth, at least early on. He makes the birdie putt to move to 6 under, but he would bogey 17, and then on 18 he'd hit a wayward drive off to the right. He'd end up finishing with a double bogey 6 to finish at 3 under, but he does still have the lead. Let's check the leaderboard. He leads over Smiley Kaufman by just 1 stroke. You might be wondering, where's Rory McIlroy? Well, he entered the day a shot back of Spieth, but shot a 5 over and is now 5 shots out of the lead. Well, Notre Dame's hockey team didn't make the NCAA tournament, but there was an ND in the title game tonight, or Saturday night, rather. The Fighting Hawks taking on the top-seeded Bobcats. We go right to the 3rd. UND up 2-1. Nick Schmaltz feeds Drake Kajula, and the Hawks are starting to feel it. Later in the 3rd, it's Kajula again, the icing on the cake. North Dakota is national champions for the 8th time. Fighting Hawks win 5-1. Now to the reason we're all here so late. The Duck Commander 500 was delayed an hour, but they eventually got it going in Fort Worth. And what a week for Kyle Busch. He wins 2 races in Martinsville last Sunday, wins the Xfinity race in Fort Worth Friday night, and then his 4th straight NASCAR win tonight at the Duck Commander 500. Well, Warsaw's cross-country coach has announced he is resigning and will focus on coaching track and field. Scott Erba led the Lady Tigers to 3 NLC crowns, 5 sectionals, and 4 regional championships in his 5 years at the helm. His daughter Ashley won the state title under her dad's direction. Well, Friday night we told you about 2 local wrestlers competing in the Olympic time trials. And Kayla Miracle, an alumna of Culver Military Academy, was eliminated in the semifinals of her trial Saturday in the 58-kilogram weight class. Penn alum Sarah Hildebrand competes later today in the 53-kilogram weight class. We're all sick of snow, right? Well, how about some heartwarming video of some athletes who don't see a lot of snow? This is the Miami Hurricanes baseball team. They were in town to take on the Irish, but that game was wiped out. This video and the pictures posted to Miami's Twitter account show that not everyone was disappointed by the snow. You know a little bit about Miami, don't you?
I know. I think for a lot of these players, this is the first time they've ever seen snow.
Hi again, everyone. I'm Eric Crouch. Dean and Adam are off. Well, the number of walking wounded for the Irish football team is starting to dwindle a bit. Earlier this week, we told you Durham Smythe and Jerron Jones would be healthy enough to play in the Fiesta Bowl. And today, Brian Kelly revealed that C.J. Prosize's ankle should be healed enough for him to play New Year's Day against Ohio State.
Rob feels really good, our head trainer, that, he should be ready to play. I think we got to kind of push him through a threshold of feeling confident, on cutting and things of that nature, because he's had enough time, to be where we need him to be. I think by the time we get into next week, we should have a real good feel where he is.
Now, if you grow up playing football in Ohio, you dream of playing for Ohio State. That's just the way it is. And as Notre Dame players spend the holiday with family before leaving Saturday for Arizona, a few of the Ohio natives on the team say they're hearing it from Buckeye-loving friends.
I've already talked to my parents a couple of times. I think it's the best thing to do is just to stay at home, just spending time with my family. There's so much noise that's going to be back in Toledo, and there's so many Buckeye fans around my area that are, going to try to give me stuff. But, I was just going to spend the time with my family, relax a little bit, enjoy the holiday, and come back and prepare and head down to Arizona.
I've had a few people reach out and I wish you the best, but go Buckeyes. I'm just like, whatever, man. I don't know if we're that good of friends after all. But yeah, so. I guess when I go home after the game, whatever happens, I'll probably be hearing about it big time.
With friends like those, huh? Well, IU has arrived in the Big Apple to prepare for Saturday's Pinstripe Bowl versus Duke. Now, the team is scheduled to ring the bell at the New York Stock Exchange tomorrow. Today, the squad held its first practice in pads to get ready for the Blue Devils.
Yeah, practice today, I thought it was a good go. We did a lot of thumping. Got a lot of good on good work, which was good, and got a lot of good work with ones-on-ones. Yeah, the game on Saturday, I'm really excited for. It's going to be an amazing experience playing in Yankee Stadium, playing a good opponent, Duke. It's going to be a battle.
It was a back-and-forth affair at the GoDaddy Bowl, but Georgia Southern starting to pull away. It's actually 44-27. Notable locally because South Bend, Washington alum Garrick Dieter has passed the 1,000 receiving yards mark in 2015. He's also got 3 catches for a touchdown. But right now, Bowling Green is down to Georgia Southern, 44-27. Well, with just 1 game remaining until the start of the ACC season, the Irish men's basketball team has defense on its mind over its Christmas break. Entering tonight's play, Notre Dame is forcing just 10.1 turnovers per game. That's 8th fewest among the 346 Division I schools. And it's on Demetrius Jackson's list of things the team needs work on.
Locking in defensively, I think we can definitely grow on the defensive end. We talked about defense early, and so when we come back, we're gonna really emphasize defense and plan it as 5.
Let's stick with college hoops, shall we? Michigan closing out its non-conference schedule, facing Bryant University. Bryant kept it close for the first 10 minutes. Marcel Petway is going to get it on the low block, lays it in, cutting the Wolverine lead to 7. But Michigan's long-distance calls would be answered. Duncan Robinson, one of the best three-point shooters in the nation, nails the tray, and when you've got a shooter like that, you've also got a decoy. Robinson draws attention, then gives up the rock to Karis LeVert, who drops it in from downtown. Big Blue rolls 96-60. Now to the association, Pacers hosting Sacramento. Indiana hoping for some Hoosiers-like magic in those throwbacks. And here's Paul George. What a comeback he's made from that leg injury. Hits the 3. He'd finished with a triple-double, but the Pacers trailed by 15 at the half. Big night for D Boogie and 1. The Kings' DeMarcus Cousins with a game-high 25 points. One last chance for the Pacers, but the prayer will rim out. Kings win 108-106. Well, the NHL is taking the next 3 days off for the holiday, but the Blackhawks are taking 4. And the defending Stanley Cup champions know the regular season is a grind, so this time off is valuable. Blackhawks coach Joel Quenneville says he's encouraged by what he's seen so far.
We've had good stretches here. We have had a real busy stretch going into today's game. We see these 4 days are going to help us. I think there's progress in certain areas. There's some balance starting to come out.
And finally, in the NFL, Odell Beckham Jr. has lost his appeal and will have to sit out Sunday's game against the Vikings. The Giants wide receiver was suspended 1 game Monday after drawing 3 personal fouls in Sunday's loss to the Panthers, including this dangerous helmet-to-helmet hit on the Panthers corner, Josh Norman.
Never easy to watch that.
That's
hit.
how Farron gets when she's upset. Believe it or not. Helmet-to-helmet, she doesn't need it.
Why did you tell everybody my secret?
You know, it's the holidays. I'm in a giving mood. It's not a big deal, really. That was Michigan State coach Tom Izzo's reaction to news that his National Player of the Year candidate, Denzel Valentine, could miss 2 to 3 weeks after having knee surgery. Tonight, the Spartans hoopsters had a chance to back up their coach in their first game since his injury, taking on Oakland. Greg Campy's Golden Grizzlies thinking upset as we pick it up in overtime. That's right, overtime. Matt Costello in the low block, nifty move to draw contact and one. He would hit the free throw, and Michigan State would take a 1-point lead. Now, Oakland would respond with a pair of free throws to take a 1-point lead of their own. Costello would come back again. This time he's going to miss it, but Deontay Davis slams home the rebound, and Sparty regains the lead. Now, Oakland hanging around until Bryn forms with the dagger 3. Sparty survives in overtime. Tom Izzo just kind of shrugging to himself. 99-93, Spartans win. Let's go to Purdue, where the Boilermakers are coming up their first loss of the season, hosting Vanderbilt. Early on, P.J. Thompson getting a little sloppy with the basketball. Wade Baldwin, the 4, steals it and slams it home. Commodores with an early 7-2 lead. Purdue would respond. A.J. Hammonds, the big man, gets good position down low, drops the hammer. And how about the freshman phenom, Caleb Swanigan? Check out the touch from last year's Mr. Basketball right here in Indiana. The little fader goes. That one at Mackey was tight for a while, but Purdue would eventually pull away. Boilers win 68-55. How about the Hoosiers facing Kennesaw State, hoping to keep the momentum up after the big win over Notre Dame last weekend. Early on, it was all IU. Troy Williams taking it to the rack for an easy deuce. He and Thomas Bryant both had 20 to lead the team. Now second half, Kennesaw State keeping it close. Williams will drain another triple. Hoosiers win their 5th straight, 99-72. We are just 10 days away from Notre Dame's Fiesta Bowl matchup with the defending national champions Ohio State. And Irish players young and old are talking about the team's closeness. They embrace their status of being Notre Dame's 127th team in school history with the Team 127 slogan. That was started by the team's senior leadership, but it's now being embraced by the Irish underclassmen.
You know, you have that set for the next few years that you're here, so you have that standard of, you know, what a team should look like, be a brotherhood, be a family, to fight for each other. At the beginning of the year, we had a Marine come and talk to us, and he was telling us how, you know, that's kind of like the kind of bond that the Marines share, where you would die for your teammate, and I think that's something that we've kind of simulated here.
Now, Ball State is in the market for a new football head coach. Pete Lembo has resigned to take a job as assistant head coach and special teams coordinator at Maryland under its new coach, DJ Durkin. Lembo went 33-29 in his 5 seasons in Muncie, but struggled over the last 2, going 8-16, including 3-9 in 2015. Now, Lembo played his college ball at Georgetown, so he will be closer to his immediate family there in the Washington, D.C. area. You might remember the name DJ Durkin. He spent last season as defensive coordinator for Jim Harbaugh at Michigan. How about a little high school hoops action? Some big NIC, NLC clashes tonight. Big one in Plymouth, and this one would come down to the wire. Coming into this game, Riley 7-1 and Plymouth 5-2. Riley's Maurice Scott Jr. drives down the court, gets the floater to fall. Plymouth responds. Nick Felke gets the layup and foul. Number 23 for Riley. That's a good number to have if you're a basketball player. Demezy Anderson gets the layup through the defense. Plymouth's Josh Anders will respond. He gets in the post, scores strong, but Demezy Anderson again with the jumper for Riley. Riley gets the narrow win, 64-63. They are now 8-1. More NIC NLC action. Ronnie Thomas's Northridge Raiders taking on St. Joe at the shootout at Adams. Check out Samuel Quinn with the nifty scoop. Quinn led the Indians with 16. Raiders would tie it in the second. Nice pump fake by Luke Morrison. He led all scorers with 28, but Mike Bauer's Indians would prove to be too much for Northridge. Look at the teamwork here. Forcing the steal, the big man gets it to Mark Madden, another big man. He's got the finish. Indians win 70-62. As Shelley Leggett mentioned earlier, last game for the Goshen Redskins taking on the host South Bend Adams. Skins on the board early. Cam Klein takes it to the hole, and Goshen takes an early lead. Milt Cooper's Eagles would respond, though. Walter Ellis off the inbound from right in front of my camera lens drains the baseline three, and Goshen's in a hole. Later, Mitchell Walters will bring the Skins back a little bit, some hoop and some harm, but it was not enough. Eagles beat the Redskins 48-33. Well, NFL Pro Bowl rosters are out, and, well, it was a bad year for local teams. No Bears, no Colts made it, but this guy did. Why am I showing you Charles Woodson? Well, that's because the future Hall of Famer announced that this, his 18th season, will be his last. Woodson will retire as one of the best defensive backs in league history. His 65 interceptions tie him for 5th all-time. He was also a star at the University of Michigan, where he won a Heisman Trophy and led Michigan to the 1997 national title. And that's no coincidence, Farron. I was a freshman at Michigan that year, and it makes me feel old that now he's already old enough that he's retiring. But what a career.
All right, thanks so much, Eric.